Questions for the district attorney in one of the state's most populous parishes about hiring practices within his office. Two recent moves are raising some eyebrows.
One person hired is a former judge removed from the bench. The other, a longtime assistant DA who was brought back after retiring. And that practice has some state lawmakers saying the whole matter is not in the spirit of recently changed laws.
Investigative reporter Travers Mackel is live at 6 now with what leaders are and are not saying about those decisions. Travers?
Scott, in both cases, the new employee is actually a familiar one. The two people were recently rehired as assistant DAs by Jefferson Parish District Attorney Paul Koenig. He's been in office for almost 20 years and is one of the most powerful prosecutors in Louisiana. But tonight, some are questioning the latest additions to his staff.
This is breaking news from WDSU.
Focus of a federal corruption investigation labeled Operation Wrinkled Robe.
It was a corruption case that shocked the local legal community.
Does that make you sick? It makes my stomach sick right now. It's churning. And a 5-year FBI investigation called Operation Wrinkled Robe.
In the federal government's Operation Wrinkled Robe investigation,
The code name itself suggesting judges in Jefferson Parish were tainted. Almost 15 years ago, the feds got convictions of local judges, a well-known bail bondsman, and others who took part in a kickback scheme at the parish courthouse. Judges Alan Green and Ronald Bodenheimer both served jail time.
99% of what I did as a judge was the right thing to do. 1% was wrong, and because of that 1%, I pled guilty and I've been punished.
That is the embodiment of disgraceful and horrific corruption of the judicial system.
Pseudo-criminologist Dr. John Penny remembers the case well.
It showed what kind of good old boy network we had that was totally corrupt to the core.
One judge who was issued an FBI subpoena but was never charged with any federal crimes was Joan Benge. A former prosecutor in Jefferson Parish, Benge ran into trouble with the state Supreme Court after the dust from Wrinkled Robe settled. Here's how Benge's problem started. While the feds were secretly wiretapping then-Judge Ronald Bodenheimer, he had conversations with Benge that were secretly recorded. And Benge told Bodenheimer that she had reservations about handing out a personal injury settlement to an associate of his. Even though Benge thought the case was weak, she still awarded the man, Bodenheimer's friend, money in a personal injury settlement. Though the FBI didn't seek charges, the organization did forward its findings, the secret recordings, to the state Supreme Court and its investigatory arm, the Judiciary Commission, for possible ethical violations. They conducted their own probe, and that led to Benge being kicked off the bench in 2009. In 2010, she voluntarily surrendered her law license, and in 2012, the Supreme Court suspended Benge from the practice of law for 3 years, making it retroactive to 2010, which is when she gave up her license. Last year, Benge applied for reinstatement, and she got it. The State Bar Association lists her as active and licensed. And WDSU has learned that last month, Benge was hired as an assistant district attorney in Jefferson Parish, meaning a judge forced from the bench by the high court and investigated by the FBI is now, once again, a prosecutor. Executive Assistant District Attorney Chris Cox sent us this email confirming Benge's hire date as October 5th and adding, she currently is screening narcotics cases in the felony screening unit of the office. Her annual salary is $85,000. That doesn't sit well with pseudo-criminologist John Penny.
I think it calls into question some real breach of ethics and some real concerns that if you're connected to someone who is political and like you, you can get away with a lot of stuff that other people cannot get away with.
We asked for an on-camera interview with District Attorney Paul Koenig or with Chris Cox and received this email, which reads, in keeping with policy, the Jefferson Parish District Attorney's Office respectfully declines your invitation to participate in an interview concerning personnel matters.
What does it say about credibility?
Ethics expert Dane Cialino says, while it may look bad to some,
she is free to practice in any area of the law.
He says the DA is in the clear to hire Benge despite the unusual circumstances.
Might some people be concerned about it? Of course, public perception goes in all sorts of different directions. But she is a past ethical offender. She has her license back. She is covered by all of the special rules that cover prosecutors and by the general ethics rules that govern all lawyers. And if she runs afoul of any of those, you could bet that she would lose her license and never get it back again.
And Benge isn't the only recent rehire by Connick that's got some folks talking. In September, longtime prosecutor Tim McElroy retired. Records show he left the office the Friday before Labor Day, September 4th. His position upon retirement, Chief of Trials, and his annual salary, $163,000. But after the long Labor Day weekend had passed, McElroy was rehired on Tuesday, September 8th. He started collecting his pension the day after he retired, walking away with more than $350,000 in a lump sum payment, and to collect just under $9,000 a month for the rest of his life after spending more than 30 years as a state prosecutor. State law bars any former prosecutor drawing down his or her retirement from going back to work with the same office and making more than $45,000 annually. The DA's office confirms to us that upon his rehiring, McElroy will work part-time, no more than 14 hours per week, and will make $44,999 for those efforts.
I do think people will look at that because, you know, it's quite obvious. You're $1 below the limit.
State Representative Kevin Pearson chairs the legislature's retirement committee and generally frowns on retirees collecting state pensions being immediately rehired by the same state office they just left.
That's what I think in a lot of instances give the defined benefit pension plans probably a bad name. I mean, it's because people see that. They consider it abuse whether it is or not. Yes, is it legal? I think it is legal. So we can't really argue that. But is that, in essence, the spirit of what they were designed for? I would say probably not.
Again, we asked for an on-camera interview with DA Paul Connick or his chief executive, Chris Cox. They declined. Before working in Jefferson Parish, Tim McElroy spent almost 20 years in Orleans Parish working in a management position under former DA Harry Connick Sr. The DA's office did not make either McElroy or Benge available for interviews, and within the last 20 minutes, we received this statement from Paul Connick. He says McElroy's 33-year prosecutorial career under 3 DAs provides him great experience for his new position, and Connick mentions Benge and how she was a highly regarded prosecutor in the 1990s. This full statement is on our website at WDSU.com. Camille?
And Travers, Jefferson Parish District Attorney Paul Connick was elected to a 4th term in office last year when he ran unopposed for his top prosecutor position.